everyone, and welcome to Cool Pulse, the virtual podcast where we decode tomorrow's technology. So today, I'm your host, Russell, and I'm joined by a powerhouse crew, each bringing something exciting to the table. First up, we got Mr. Arlan Ditan, kicking things off with an overview of emerging technologies, what they are, what they matter, and how they're shaping the future. Then, Mr. Kent Palaroan will take us deep into the fifth industrial revolution, where technology meets humanity, ethics, and innovation. Next, Mr. Pedragosa is diving into the evolution of 5G, from lightning fast speed to real-time applications that are transforming how we connect and communicate. And finally, Mr. Robin King Andres will walk us through the immersive worlds of augmented reality and virtual reality, AR and VR, and how they're revolutionizing the tech industry as we know it. So grab your headphones, log in, and settle in. Today's episode is all about emerging technologies and fifth industrial revolution. Let's jump in.
Thanks, Russell, for from the evolution of 5G to the rise of augmented reality and smart devices. Emerging technologies are transforming not just industries but entire societies.
Absolutely. And understanding these shifts is not just for professionals. Whether you're in business, education, healthcare, or even just a curious learner, this affects you directly.
In this episode, we'll break down each area, show you real-world applications, highlight the tools and platform driving innovation, and explore where it's all heading.
Let's begin with the big picture. What exactly are emerging technologies and why do they matter so much in today's digital age? Welcome to the first episode where the title is Emerging Technologies Overview and Areas. So what exactly is emerging technology? Basically, it's a new tech that's still being developed or hasn't really caught on everywhere yet. It's not mainstream yet, but it's a huge potential to change how we live, work, and connect with the world around us.
Oh, so it's kind of like sneak peek into the future, like these are things that might become part of our everyday lives soon.
Exactly. It's pretty exciting when you think about it. We're literally talking about what's coming next. Hopefully, we'll get to experience it. These technologies are evolving fast and are expected to bring big changes to society, boost the economy, and make our daily lives better. Think of it as a glimpse of tomorrow happening right now.
That sounds awesome. But can these emerging technologies really help solve huge problems like climate change, pandemics, or even worse, wars?
That's a great question. Technology by itself isn't magic fix all, but it definitely plays a huge role. For example, renewable energy tech is helping fight climate change. AI and data analytics improves how we handle health crisis, and better communication tools can even help reduce conflicts or even keep people connected during tough times. So it's not a silver bullet, but it's a powerful tool in our toolbox.
So basically, it's about making things smarter and easier for us, not completely replacing everything we already know.
Exactly. It helps us work smarter, gives people access to information and education no matter where they are, and opens up new opportunities. Like these days, you don't have to attend a fancy university to learn coding or business. You can just find tons of free resources online. Emerging technologies shapes the future, but still up to you how to use it.
Oh, that makes sense now.
Uh, I thought you'd say that. It's a common misunderstanding. Think of it as a emerging tech like a smart assistant, not something that's taking over uh, completely. Anyway, to help everyone get a clearer idea, we're going to dive into some examples today. The examples includes the fifth industrial revolution, the evolution of 5G, techno- technology in the industry, augmented reality and virtual reality, and of course, the Internet of Things. All right, let's get started with first up, the fifth industrial revolution, Kent, Europe.
Welcome to Cool Files, the virtual podcast where we explore the future of technology and its impact on society. I'm Kent, and today we're discussing one of the most transformative developments of our time, the fifth industrial revolution. Joining me is Mr. Arlan, Mr. Robin, Mr. Russell, and Mr. Eman, IT specialist at XYZ organization. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to discuss the important topic.
Let's start with the basics. We hear about emerging technologies. How is the fifth industrial revolution different?
The fifth industrial revolution, or 5IR, encompasses the notion of harmonious human-machine collaborations with a specific focus on the well-being of multiple stakeholders, lipunan, kumpanya, empleyado, or customer. Di na lang ito abot sa robot at machine. Tungkol din ito sa kakayanan ng mga tao na mas mapagaan ang trabaho nila upang hindi sila mapalitan. Sustainable production methods and technology designed with ethical consideration at its core.
That's a fascinating perspective. It sounds like 5IR is really flipping the script. Instead of asking how humans can adapt to technology, we're now asking how technology can better serve humanity. Can you give us some examples of how this is manifesting in real-world applications?
Yes, in human AI collaborations, huwag na tayo lumayo. Companies like Integrated Microelectronics Inc. or IMI, gumagamit sila ng collaboration robots or co-robots. Factory nila sa Laguna to work alongside the employees in precision assembly, improving efficiency while keeping workers safe.
Sa sustainable tech naman, Ayala Corporation naman gumagamit sila ng AI para saan? So for smarter energy management in their eco-friendly buildings, tulad ng sa Arca South optimizing energy use while reducing carbon footprints.
It's exciting to see homegrown innovation leading this shift. At isa pa dito yung sa ethical AI frameworks. Based sa na-research ko, yung Department of Trade and Industry, DTI, and DOST, ASTI are working on national AI ethics guidelines, ensuring AI adoption aligns with Filipino values and labor protections. These examples really show how 5IR is different. It's not just about what technology can do, but how it serves people and the planet. With this advancement comes challenges. What are the key problems we need to address?
One key problems are workforce transformation. As roles evolves, we need massive reskilling initiatives. The World Economic Forum estimates 50% of all employees need reskilling by 2025.
Adding to that, ethical dilemmas. How do we ensure AI systems make fair decisions? What if when an AI makes some harmful decisions, example dyan is yung wrong medical diagnosis, bias loan rejection, sino ang take ng responsibility dito?
That's some complex issues. Our organizations addressing them.
Like yung sa sa PLDT AI chatbots, their virtual assistant powered by a local AI Senti from AI. It handles the customer service queries but escalates complex issues to humans. Another one is Zerolatics, a Manila-based startup using AI and satellite data to predict flood risk and help LGUs with disaster spreadness.
These examples demonstrate that while challenges exist, solutions are being developed. What's your vision for where this is heading?
I think by 2023, by then I believe we'll see an AI becoming a standard collaborator in most professions, strictly global standards for ethical AI development, widespread adoption of circular economy principles in manufacturing. But most important development will be measuring success not just by economic output, but by human well-being and environmental sustainability.
A powerful vision. As we conclude, what guidance would you offer to everyday Filipinos and society as we navigate this fifth industrial revolution?
First is embrace lifelong learning. Um, excuse. The jobs of tomorrows will require new skills habang yung technology ay nag-evolve, dapat tayo rin. I-take advantage natin ang mga programs like free tested digital courses so kaya natin makasabay sa technologies.
Stay human-centered in a world full of automation. Nurture what makes us uniquely human. Creativity, empathy, and community. Tayo pa rin dapat ang maging main character sa mundong ito.
And advocate for policies that ensure technological progress that benefits all Filipinos.
Not just corporations.
What a thoughtful way to end, reminding us that technology should serve people, not the other way around. Thank you for the important insights. If you enjoyed this podcast, until next time, keep thinking about the future. Paalam!
Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. I'm Eman and I'm with me are Arlan and Ken. Today we're diving into something we all use every day but don't really think about 5G. Well, we've all seen those 5G is faster sa mga advertisement, but today we'll break down how it evolved and why it's such a game changer.
Yes, I always thought 5G was just a faster version of 4G, like more bars, better internet, diba?
That's what most people think, and partly true. But 5G isn't just a speed upgrade; it's a major transformation. It's up to 100 times speeds faster. It's 100 times faster speed than 4G, but it also brings super low latency and can handle millions of connections at once, which 4G struggles with.
Wait, latency? What does that mean again?
So latency is the delay between sending and receiving data. For example, when you click a button in a game or a video call logs, that's latency. 4G latency is about 30 to 50 milliseconds. 5G brings that down to 1 milliseconds. That's a huge deal for things like real-time gaming or remote surgery or even self-driving cars. So let's quickly look back. So 1G is the first generation. That's what it called. First generation in the 80s was just a voice calls. Kung naalala niyo yung telephones, and yung dinadayan. Yan.
Yung day ganun, na
Oo. Oo. Next is a 2G, brought texting and SMS, ay texting and texting and yung dito na rin pumasok yung analog. So I think it's around early 90s ganun yung 2G. And next is 3G, gave us a mobile internet. So yun na yung start ng ating internet sa SIM card. And yung next is 4G. Ang ginagawa naman ng 4G is yung broad streaming, YouTube, TikTok, and now we're here in the era of 5G or fifth generation, which unlocking technology we used to think was science fiction.
So when did 5G actually launch?
The first 5G rollout started in 2019 in countries like South Korea, the US, but those early versions were what we call non-standalone. They still use 4G towers. Full standalone 5G network started coming out around 2021 and 2021 and beyond. That's when we started seeing the real capabilities of 5G.
So where are we now with 5G?
Great question. We're moving into 5G Advanced, also called 5.5G. It's basically an upgrade to 5G, improving speed, efficiency, and AI support. It'll make like things like AR, VR, smart factories, and autonomous systems even smoother. After that, 6G is already being developed, and people are taking about things like holographic calls, brain computer interface, and even faster AIs.
Bro, holographic calls like Star Wars level like that.
Exactly. Some companies
Di siya 5G.
Raging siya guys, raging. So wait lang natin siya guys. Guys, ano lang, medyo ano tong sa Arlan guys. Kaya nyo lang.
And siya guys,
Hintayin lang natin si, si
man.
Discuss niya is
So-
5G pero siya naka 3G pala.
So balikan na lang natin guys si Eman. Punta na lang tayo ngayon sa kay Robin. Robin,
And,
anong ano mo?
in
Din.
this podcast, we will focus on the impact of technology in industry such as manufacturing, healthcare, retail industry. Uh, First, I will explain the impact of technology in manufacturing. Arlan, do you have any idea on how technology affects the manufacturing industry?
I do have an idea, like automation and robotics, and also Internet of Things and 3D printing.
Yes, that's correct. First, automation and robotics have revolutionized factories by taking over repetitive and dangerous tasks. Mas napapadali at mas napapabilis yung pagtatrabaho ng mga workers natin nang dahil sa automation at robotics. At mas magiging safe pa to kasi magiging halos robot na yung gagawa ng mga mahihirap na gawain at delikado. Next, the Internet of Things. It connects machine to the internet so they can share real-time data. This lets manufacturers monitors monitor equipment closely, predict maintenance needs, and avoid costly downtime. Finally, 3D printing is changing how products are made. Instead of traditional methods, factories can now build parts layer by layer directly from the digital designs. This speeds up prototyping and even allows small scale production of complex parts. Together, these technologies make manufacturing smarter, safer, and more efficient, driving innovation in every product we use. Now, let's proceed to healthcare industry. Eman, do you have any idea on how technology affects the healthcare industry?
Yes, telemedicine and wearable tech are impact of technologies in healthcare industry.
That's correct. Let's discuss on how telemedicine affect the healthcare industry. Telemedicine has made healthcare more accessible by allowing patients to consult doctors remotely. Imaginin mo yun, pwede ka na magpa-check up sa doktor ng online lang na hindi mo na kailangan pumunta sa ospital. Kailangan mo lang ng internet, makapagpa-check up ka na. Dahil doon, mas nakakatipid tayo, mas nagagamit natin yung oras natin ng maayos. Tapos, meron din yung mga wearable tech like smartwatches. It tracks health data in real-time monitoring heart rate, oxygen levels, and more to keep us informed and healthy. Tapos meron din mga smartwatches like Apple Watches na kung ma-alert yung mga kapamilya mo or kung saan ang tatawag sa 911 pag may mga pagbabago sa heart rate mo. Parang magkakaroon ka ng heart attack. Siya na yung kusang tumatawag kasi alam niya kung ano yung tibok ng puso mo, kung gaano kabilis. And lastly,
sana all.
Siyempre. And lastly, we will discuss retail industry. Ken, do you have any idea what e-commerce platform is widely used?
Yes, such as Amazon, Shopify, and Shopee.
Correct. Using these platforms, we can make our life shopping we can make our life shopping easy and accessible worldwide. Hindi mo na kailangan pumunta sa mga malls, sa mga bilihan ng mga kung ano ang bibilin mo. Kailangan mo lang i-search to sa mga shopping platforms tulad ng mga binanggit ni Ken na Amazon and Shopify and Shopee. And madami din doon mga pagpipilian. And dahil doon, mas nakatipid ka ng oras at mas mapipili mo yung mga gusto mo. And next naman doon, gamit yung AI recommendation engines, i-analyze nito yung kung ano yung mga pinag-search mo. Kaya makapag-suggest siya ng mga product na kakailanganin mo. Like yung mga gusto mo. Tapos next naman is yung AR and VR technologies. And dahil doon, pwede mong parang matry yung mga damit mo na bibilin. Pwede mong virtually matry. Tapos doon makikita mo yung kung gaano sila kalaki, kung bibili ka man ng furniture para sa bahay mo, gano'n.
Talaga, pwede yun.
Pwede.
Wait.
Yung mga isa sa benefit na
Yung magaya sa Apple Vision, no?
Lakas na ng 5G ka na ngayon.
Together, these innovations make shopping faster, smarter, and more personalized. And next topic is about augmented reality and virtual reality. And these two technologies are changing how we learn, work, and play, but they're often confused or used interchangeably. Our goal is to clear up what each one is, explore some real-life examples, and understand their incredible benefits, especially in areas like healthcare and everyday life. To help us out, we have Kent and Russell here to share their insights. Let's get started with virtual reality. Kent, how would you define virtual reality?
For me, virtual reality is a set of images and sounds produced by a computer that seem to represent a place or situation that a person can take part in.
Yung virtual reality, para siyang kailangan mo lang magsuot ng headset. Tapos parang ilalagay mo, meron din sa mata. Tapos parang pag nilagay mo yun, mapupunta ka na sa ibang mundo. Ganun.
Uy, sana all. Kasi Arlan makikita mo, pre.
Yun. Tapos pwede yung pwedeng mga sa entertainment, pwede ka rin mag-boxing. Pwede ka rin mag-practice ng surgeon o kaya doktor ka or student ka na kumukuha ng medicine, pwede ka makapag-practice ng virtual
Ano
na
yan, pwede ako doon mag-practice, operan si Russell. Pwede.
pwede. Ay, hindi si Russell.
Ay,
Pwede,
Ba't ako?
pwede, pero para lang siyang
ako si
hindi siya
Russell.
tao, pero
Ako si
Hindi pwede
Russell.
parang
yun.
AI apps.
Pwede
Na- na-
yung virtual.
Naka-
Kuha ka
Naka-VR ka, no?
Hanap kang girlfriend pa rin.
Doon sa VR,
Naka-
pwede.
Naka-VR
meron
si
siya
Arlan.
naman.
Friend, no?
Naka-VR
Parang
si Arlan,
lungkot
tapos
lang
ano?
po.
Ganito ba yan? Ganito?
Oo.
Pwede,
Oo.
pwede.
Parang gano'n
Ganyan na ganyan.
Ganun pala yun.
Naka-VR, Arlan, naka-VR ka, tapos makikita ka mama mo. Uy,
Hoy, bakit ka nag-ano dyan?
Tama ng kalokohan yan. Let's focus now on VR in the health industry. The benefits of VR in the health industry are risk-free training siya. Yung students and surgeons can practice without using a real person. Hindi mo na kailangan ng mga cadavers ngayon kung gusto mo mag-practice. And improves surgical accuracy. And it enhances eye-hand coordination and precision through realistic simulations. And dahil sa practice mo ng virtual, pag mag-opera ka na ng tao, mas okay na yung eye and hand coordination mo. Parang mas may gamay mo na. May muscle memory ka na. Ganon. Tapos, mas cost-effective siya kasi nababawasan na yung pangangailangan mo sa mga physical models and cadavers. And dahil doon, pwede ka makapag-practice ng mga rare conditions. And syempre, dahil doon, kung di mo na kailangan di ka makapag-practice sa totoong tao, parang pag isama ka na sa totoong tao, maayos na, parang nahasa ka na, gano'n. And next, punta naman tayo sa augmented reality. And Russell, how do you define augmented reality?
dinig ako. So, augmented reality. Para sa akin, augmented reality is a technology that overlays digital content such as image into the real world in real augmented reality.
Yung yung augmented reality naman, para lang siyang pag sa augmented reality, parang ini-enhance niya lang yung mundo mo. Parang, example nun is yung Pokemon Go. Para mapaglaro ka ng Pokemon Go, kailangan mong lagala, gano'n. Parang makikita mo rin yung totoong mundo doon. Pero, nasa world ka lang ng Pokemon. Tapos, yung isa pang example is yung IKEA Place. And yung IKEA Place naman, pwede ka mapag-shopping virtually. Tapos dahil doon, mas napapababa yung return errors nito. Kasi, kaya mo namang tignan virtually kung gaano kalaki, kung magkakasya ba sa room mo o hindi. Tapos, mas napapag-provide ng accurate measurements. And mas convenient sa ito kasi hindi mo na kailangan magtagal doon na iisipin mo pa ba kung kasya ba to or ganon. Kung kasya pa ba, pwede mo nang i-try virtually. Tapos sa Pokemon Go naman, para mapaglaro ka ng Pokemon Go, kailangan mo lumabas, maglakad-lakad para makahuli ka ng Pokemon. Sa game na to, na-encourage yung mga tao na mag-exercise, maglakad-lakad, at pumunta sa mga sikat na landmark sa atin or sa mga ibang lugar or sa mga bagong lugar. And ayun lang. Tapos, i-summarize ko na lang kung ano yung virtual reality and augmented reality. It transformed the way we learn, work, and play. Virtual reality offers immersive, risk-free training and hands-on experiences, especially in critical fields like healthcare, while AR enhances our everyday reality by blending digital content with the real world to improve convenience and interaction. As these technologies continue to evolve, their impact will only grow, opening up new possibilities. We're just beginning to imagine. And and salamat sa pag-join sa podcast na to. And maging curious at mag-explore sa amazing world ng AR and VR. Bago tayo pumunta sa next na topic, is balikan muna natin yung topic na Eman na naputol dahil naka 4G siya.
Well, yan.
3G yata eh.
Ay,
Di ba may
3G.
3G pa rin ngayon? May 3G pa rin ngayon, no? May gawagamit pa rin.
May
Meron,
LTE.
meron pa rin.
Yeah.
LTE.
Okay. So, to continue,
But how does this help regular people like us?
awesome point. Here's how. Faster downloads and streaming. Think 4K movies in seconds. So, pag nag-download ka kasi ng 4K na movies, nag-range siya to 2 gig hanggang 5 gig. So, think of it as isipin mo kung gaano kabilis mag-download yung 4K na movies na yan. And next is the cloud gaming with zero lag. Next is smarter traffic system to reduce accident. And next is doctors doing surgeries remotely through robots. And last is supports for millions of IoT device like your smart fridge, doorbells, watch, all running smoothly at once. So minsan di ba mayroon tayong mga smart devices na kailangan ng internet. So 5G, makakatulong yung 5G sa ano. So in a nutshell, 5G is more than faster. It's more faster than YouTube. It's a backbone for the future, powering things like smart cities, AI systems, remote medicines, and eventually even holograms and 6G. We're literally watching the future unfolds in real time.
Angas no? Akala ko dati mas mabilis lang na wifi yun eh.
Same
Glad to hear
here.
that. Glad to hear that. Thanks for tuning in or part of this discussion. Stay connected and stay curious.
Pre, may tanong
Sige.
ako. Di ba 5G na, 6G? Sa tingin mo, kapag may 6G, edi 6 gear na rin ni Lopi. Gear 6 ni Lopi, pre.
Oh, pre. Mas malakas ang
Ito.
6G. So,
Ito, may question pa ako, pre.
okay.
Will 5G make my phone battery die faster? Yung mas mabilis ba siya malobat, pre, kapag na 5G?
Actually, at first, yes. Early 5G phones did consume more battery because they were constantly switching between 4G and 5G signals. But with newer chip and better software optimization, phones today manage power much more efficiently, so it's improving quickly. So, ganoon din kasi yung sa akin, yung phone ko, nag-switch siya from 4G to 5G. So, medyo mabilis siya uminit, lalo pagka nakabukas siya lagi, ang bilis siyang uminit, and mabilis siyang mabawasan yung battery. So, yun.
Paano kapag sa pre, 5G na Wi-Fi?
Sa 5G na Wi-Fi, I think parang ano lang,
Hindi
kukonsume lang
naman.
talaga ng more power since 5G is a technology na nakakatulong talaga sa pagpabilis ng so yun.
Is 5G really that different from 4G or it is just marketing hype?
Great question. While marketing definitely plays a role on how it's promoted, 5G is actually a massive leap. The real difference is in latency and connectivity. For example, sa 4G, ang latency nito is about 30 to 50 milliseconds. Sa 5G naman is binawasan ng 5G yung latency niya to around 99 or 98%. So doon pa lang natin makikita natin na parang yun na yung um, pinagkaiba ng 4G sa 5G. Kumbaga, pinalakas lang talaga ng yung 5G, pinalakas lang talaga siya ng ay yung 4G, parang nag-upgrade lang talaga tayo sa 4G. Mas malakas siya, siguro mas malakas siya around 100 times. And that's critical thing. Kagaya nung sa din, yung 5G is more likely, well, parang parang in-implement na talaga natin sa self-driving cars at saka yung sa remote surgeries. So, hindi lang about sa speed, it's about responsiveness at saka yung capacity ng 5G.
So mas maganda siya sa Tesla na kotse, no?
Oo, yun.
Yeah. Gets.
Kaganda ng 5G. Why isn't it everywhere?
So, kasi, para siyang hindi siya ganun ka, well, sabihin natin komplikado and also mahal ang pag-deploy ng 5G infrastructure, unlike 4G towers na nandyan na, and siguro cost ay medyo mura lang siya sa 5G. Kaya kasi ang 5G is nagre-require siya ng malaking cell. Basically yung mga mini towers, parang kailangan niya talaga ng malaking area. So especially in urban areas, rural coverage is still a challenge. Also, not all devices support 5G. Yan. Kasi may mga phones pa rin talaga na wala pang 5G. Mostly na makakukuha mo ng 5G is medyo pricey. And minsan mga ang tawag din, flagship na phone, hindi mo lang siya ma-acquire.
Yung iba hanggang 4G plus lang no?
4G plus lang. And sa government is still working on spectrum allocation in many countries. So parang gradual lang. Minimal na spread. Kasi mahirap ang 5G is emerging pa. So yun.
May tanong ako. Kaya ba ng 5G ma-support yung holograms or remote surgery?
So, in some cases, pwede kasi parang kung narinig niyo yung balita sa China, hindi sa Europe, and sa Japan din, there have been successful remote surgeries using 5G due to its low latency. Sa holograms naman, companies like Verizon and Ericsson, Verizon and Ericsson is already demonstrating early versions of live holographic calls. Um, Feeling ko masyado pang maaga para dun sa holographic na video, holographic calls at saka yung sa remote surgery pwede, pero sa holographic calls feeling ko masyado pang maaga. Kasi ang 5G is parang ano pa lang siya. Kumbaga, sabi ko nga, emerging pa lang. Siguro, ang 5G, maano natin kapag ang kotse ng dumulutang. Tingnan. Ayun. So, so to end the episode, I would like to thank our sponsors, Jack and Jim, kasama sa buhay. And also, Anytime Fitness, kahit saan meron. So, thank you for listening in our podcast episode 2 and stay tuned for the episode 3. So, yun. Peace.
So, hello everyone and welcome to Cool Pulse. So today's episode naman is i-discuss. So I am Russell and with me kasama yung ating mga Cool Pals, Emma, Kent, Robin, Arlan. So today's topic is some quietly changing the world all around us. The Internet of Things or IoT.
That's right. IoT is everywhere. From smartwatches, tracking your health to enter smart cities, adjusting traffic in real time. But what is it exactly, and why does it matter so much today?
Good questions, and we're going to answer them all. We'll break down how IoT works and where it's being used, and also what challenge come to it.
And Russell, let's start at the beginning.
Yeah.
In simple terms, what is the Internet of Things?
Sure. So, yung IoT. IoT refers to the network of physical objects, things embedded with sensors, software, and other technologies that connect and exchange data with other device and system over the internet. So, ayun yung IoT.
Think of it like this. Your smart fridge, your fitness tracker, your smart light bulbs, they're all part of IoT ecosystem.
Okay, so how do these devices actually work together?
Work sila together through like they collect data through sensor, process it and either locally or on the cloud and then send that data to other device and central platform. So for example, smart thermostat learns your habits and adjust temperatures automatically. So bali yung IoT works is siya parang konektado siya sa isang bali from phone to Wi-Fi to cloud, then niya lang parang mag-aano lang siya loop para mag-connect yung mga devices na ganun.
And many devices use protocols like MQTT, CoAP or
HTTP.
or HTTP para lang mga familiaries na.
Yeah.
Ginagamit siya to communicate and often they rely on cloud platforms like AWS IoT, Google Cloud IoT or Azure IoT Hub to manage data and scale.
Let's get practical. Where do we see IoT in the real world?
Everywhere. Like, dyan, meron kayong mga smartphone na, di ba? So, pwede rin sa tayo may smart homes. Kunyari, you got Alexa. Alam niyo yung sa mga ginagamit ng mayaman. Kunyari, sasabihin lang nila na sa bahay, di ba? Kunyari, sasabihin nila, what is the weather today? So, may sasagot doon na na parang AI, ganun. So, yeah, security cameras and all talking to each other. Napapaliguran na tayo ngayon ng mga technology na na makakatulong sa ating pang-araw-araw, ganun.
And also in healthcare.
Yeah.
IoT devices like wearable ECG monitors or glucose tracker helps doctors monitor patients remotely.
Also, don't forget smart agriculture. Farmers use IoT sensors to track soil moisture and optimize irrigation systems.
With so many devices connected, I imagine there are challenges. What are some of the big concerns?
Yeah, definitely the biggest is security. So more device mean more potential entry points for cyber attacks.
Is another issue. This device collects personal data, often without users realizing how much is being gathered or where it is stored.
Also, yung pero ano yun? Nakalimutan ko na. Interoperability. Yun. So, not all devices speak the same language. Ayun yung tinatawag na interoperability. So, ibig sabihin, mas harder siya na ma-build to unified system. Yung kasi, like, may mga devices na iba-ibang language. So, isa rin siya sa issue or ng kahinaan ng ating ngayon. So, pero meron naman siyang ngayon, yung like translation ba na na-invento through gamit yung AI. Parang na siya, automatic translate. Kung napapanood nyo sa mga vlogs, yung kay Kong Bayon, nagpunta siya ng Japan, kapag kumausap siya ng Japanese, kinagamitan niya ng phone, then nagkakaintindihan sila, parang gano'n.
So, where's IoT heading in the next few years?
We'll see a rise in edge computing, where the data is processed closer to the device instead of relying on the cloud. Meaning, that means faster or more efficient siya sa system. Parang lang siya yung, sabi nga ni Emma, kapag 5G, mas mas upgradable or mas improve yung kakayahan niya sa ganun.
Also, AI and machine learning will enhance IoT.
Yeah.
Imagine device not just collecting data, but predicting behaviors or optimizing actions automatically.
Yeah. Isa rin yung AI sa magiging rason para mas ma-enhance yung IoT. So, smart cities smart cities are expanding yung mas natin. So, using IoT to manage everything from waste collection to energy usage. So may ipapanood muna ako saglit bago natin tapusin tong podcast para mas magets nyo yung IoT to make it clear sa inyo. Ay i-share ako sa inyo kung paano siya nakakatulong sa ating pang araw-araw. Bakit ginagamit rin natin.
The Internet of Things, or IoT, is influencing our lifestyle from the way we react to the way we behave. From air conditioners that you can control with your smartphone, to smart cars providing the shortest route, or your smartwatch which is tracking your daily activities. IoT is a giant network of connected devices. These devices gather and share data about how they are used and the environment in which they are operated. It's all done using sensors. Sensors are embedded in every physical device. It can be your mobile phone, electrical appliances, vehicles, barcode sensors, traffic lights, and almost everything that you come across in day-to-day life. These sensors continuously emit data about the working state of the devices. But the important question is, how do they share this huge amount of data? How do we use this data to our benefit? IoT provides a common platform for all these devices to share data and a common language for all the devices to communicate with. Is emitted from various sensors and sent to IoT platforms securely. IoT platform integrates the collected data from various sources. Further analytics is performed on the data and value information is extracted as per requirement. Finally, the result is shared with other devices for better user experience, automation, and improving efficiency. Let us look at a scenario where IoT is doing wonders. AC manufacturing industry, both the manufacturing machine and the belt have sensors attached. They continuously send data regarding the machine and the production specifics to the manufacturer to identify issues beforehand. A barcode is attached to each product before leaving the belt. It contains the product code, manufacturer details, special instructions, etc. The manufacturer uses this data to identify where the product was distributed and track the retailer's inventory. Hence, the manufacturer can make the product running out of stock available. Next, these products are packed and parceled to different retailers. Each retailer has a barcode reader to track the products coming from different manufacturers, manage inventory, check special instructions, and many more. The compressor of air conditioner has an embedded sensor that emits data regarding its health and temperature continuously, allowing the customer care to contact you for the repair work in time. This is just one of the million scenarios. We have smart appliances, smart cars, smart homes, smart cities, where IoT is redefining our lifestyle and transforming the way we interact with technologies. The future of IoT industry is huge. Business Insider Intelligence estimates that 24 billion IoT devices will be installed by 2020, and IDC predicts that IoT revenue will reach around 357 billion in 2019, resulting in a lot of job opportunities in the IT industry. Want to become a part of the IoT revolution? Come and master IoT with Edureka.
So,
Mapag-promo.
So, ngayon, gumagamit na rin tayo ng IoT, di ba? Ito, pagko-communicate natin. Pati yung sinabi ni Eman, 5G, internet, yun. So, may naalala lang ako, guys. Ito, tandaan niyo ito. Kita ba? Ito yung gawa natin kay Ma'am, di ba? Uy, nawawala.
Oo, pare.
Okay.
So, yung IoT. So, dito, gumawa ako ng sa IoT na to, mayroong IoT device and sensors. Then, meron din connectivity, cloud storage, yan. So, alam nyo na to. Pinakita ko lang.
Ikaw ba talaga nag-drawing yan?
Ang sim! Wala akong tiwala sa drawing ko.
Totoo ba yan?
Drawing kita. Ang sim! So, na? So, malinaw na. So, so kung pagkatapos nun, ano pa ba? Okay na, no? Okay na yun. Gets nyo na naman yung IoT, di ba, guys? Gets na ba? So,
Yep, I'll just more about IoT. My quick takeaway is IoT is transforming the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us.
But we have to stay aware of the challenges, especially with security and privacy.
Well said. So, that's it for today's episode about IoT. So, at dyan, nagtatapos na ang episode natin, mga ka-Cool Pals. So, pinag-usapan natin ang emerging technologies, fifth industrial revolution, pag-evolve ng 5G, yung AR, VR, at kung paano nila natin from industry to everyday life. So, maraming salamat din sa ating mga kasama, kala Arlan, mga ka-cool palans, kila Kent, Eman, Robin. So, na insight dito about sa anong to. At syempre, salamat din sa inyong lahat na nakinig at nakinood. So, thanks for turning in and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the future of technology. Thank you mga ka-cool palans. Okay.